Hello design and technology students. Today I'm going to be making a video showing you how to create a floor plan using Sketchup. So what you're going to need for this task, I guess, is firstly Sketchup installed on your computer. You're also going to need to have kind of at least a rough idea of what you're doing. Preferably a roughly drawn floor plan, maybe some isometric drawings or some rough 3D drawings, just so you kind of know what your house is going to look like, and you're not kind of making it up on the fly. You've got a solid idea of what your house is going to look like. So what I'm going to do is quickly put up the floor plan I've made. So that'll be on the screen here. So what you can see on this floor plan is that I've got a very solid idea of what the house is going to look like. And this is important before you start using SketchUp to make your floor plan. So as you can see on mine, there's no bathroom. So obviously your design needs to include a bathroom, but this is just a demonstration. So you can see here I've included things like where the doors are going to go, where the windows are going to go. I've got a kitchen bench as well. And just on the right hand side I've also got a really rough 3D drawing, just so I can kind of visualize what the finished product is going to look like to some degree. Okay, the other thing you're going to need to do is understand what architectural symbols are used to represent different features of a house. So for this design here, we're going to need to know what a window symbol looks like, what a door symbol looks like, and we're going to need to know how to draw the kitchen bench that's in there. Okay, so firstly, using SketchUp, we're going to keep using the woodworking millimeters template, just because I find it's easy. There's no architectural figures getting in the way, as you'd see on the architectural templates. So there's no person standing there that kind of makes it confusing. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing you're going to see is that we're kind of looking at it from an above but to the side angle. So to get a top view, we're going to press Command 1, and that's going to change it so we're looking straight down. So this is quite different to the other kind of models I guess you've been making on SketchUp, because this is not going to be a 3D drawing. It's going to be a 2D drawing made using a 3D drawing program. So first thing we're going to do is have a look at our floor plan, and what we're going to do is draw the general outline of the entire kind of outside of the building we're designing. Do this using the rectangle tool. I'm just going to do this using the pencil tool to start off with. So we're going to start, maybe not right in where the two axes join, just because it's going to be harder to see the walls if the side of the house is right on the axis. So we're going to join onto the green axis here. Firstly, I just clicked here to start, so I'm going to start, and then joining onto the green axis to make sure it's a right angle kind of straight line, and we're going to start with that wall on the left hand side. So it doesn't matter what size you do it to begin with, and then down the bottom here we're just going to write 4,000, because that's how many millimeters are in the 4 meters of that design. Okay, so the next one we can see is 5,000. And if we go down to the right hand side wall, the first one, that is 2,000. It comes in 2,000. Goes down 2,000. And then we're just going to join back up. And there we've got, the kind of rough layout of the outside of the building. This is where SketchUp has a few kind of useful features. So rather than drawing the external walls, there's a tool that we can use that's going to do that for us. So Up here we've got the offset tool, which is this kind of semicircle with an arrow pointing out of it. So what we're going to do is select that tool, and this is a little bit tricky, but not too tricky. You just got to get used to using this tool. So we're going to click in the middle, not holding down, just click it once, and we're going to, you can see here we've got like a wall that kind of moves off the side. And we're not going to click anything, we're just going to go right down to the measurement box. We're going to write in here, and for the purpose of this task, and you know, as a general rule, external walls are roughly 90 millimeters or 9 centimeters, which is about the size of a brick. So we're going to write 90 here and press enter. And as you can see, we now have an external wall on the outside of our property, or our design. It's not really a property, is it? Okay, so let's have a look back at the floor plans. So that's going to help you there. That you are going to have to do a little bit of work on the inside though. It's not going to do the whole thing for you. So let's get our pencil tool, and we're going to put in this wall that kind of separates the kitchen from the bedroom. So we're going to start, you know, here on this external wall, and we're going to go up all the way there. And we're going to start here and go. And with our select tool, we're just going to get rid of the parts of the wall that we don't need to be there. All right. So let's start putting in some of the features. Let's start with the kitchen bench. So with our measurement tool, we can see on the floor plan that from the back wall to the kitchen bench, it's 1,500 millimeters or 1.5 meters. So we're going to put a mark there. We can see that the kitchen bench is 1,800 millimeters long. We can see that it's 450 millimeters or 45 centimeters wide. And as you can see, when I'm using the pencil tool here, I'm always joining onto the axes. So you can see the line goes green when it's joined on, or if we're going the other way, it joins red. And that's just to make sure that our lines are straight. So we've got our kitchen bench there, which is good. The next thing we're going to do is put in our door. So we can see here there's a 300 millimeter or 30 centimeter gap between the wall and the door. So there we go. We're going to put another one to show where the door is, and that's 870 millimeters wide. We can then see from this side, there's a point where the window is, and that's also 300 millimeters. And then, that's not right. We're going to put where the window ends, so that is 1,500. And that's a bit too long. So in my drawing, I've been a bit adventurous by choosing a line that's that long. So here we're just going to make it 1,100. Okay, so let's put the door in. So we've got our guide where the door is. So that's, you know, between this dot and this dot here. So we're just going to put a line directly down, kind of marking out where the door is. We can see on here that the door opens inwards and this way, so we're going to put another line here which represents the side of the door. And obviously the door is as long as the door is wide, because it has to close that space. And then to draw that symbol here, we're going to come up here and select the 2-point arc tool. And we're going to click on the 2 points that we want to join, and then we're going to move our cursor until it makes the shape that we want, which is this shape here. Okay, so there, if we zoom out, we can see there's our first door. Okay, so that's a door symbol. The window symbol. So the window symbol, as you'll remember, so it's in the wall. And then if we zoom in, it's 3 lines because it's the kind of sliding door. So we're going to put a line through the middle. And then on each other midpoint, we're going to put lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that just represents the kind of sliding windows you'd see in a house. So as you can see, the front of the house there, that is the door symbol and the window symbol. So we're going to repeat those around the rest of the floor plan where we've got windows. So I'm just going to speed up this part of the video so it's a bit more fluid, and then once we get to the next stage, I'll keep giving you some instructions. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and put all of the architectural symbols that we're going to be using in. So we've got the kitchen bench here, we've got the door, 2 doors, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows. So we're following the floor plan we've made. So what we want to do before we start doing anything else is get rid of all these little kind of marks that we've left. So the guidelines that we've kind of used for our drawing just to mark out the windows and doors. So we're just going to go to edit. I'm going to click on delete guides. That's just going to make it much neater. There. All right. So what we need to do now is go in and delete those kind of extra marks that we've left there to mark out the door as well, because we don't need a wall there because there is no wall. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is make the walls solid. So with our paint bucket tool, we're going to select black, and we're going to color in the walls where there is no window or door. So this just kind of, indicates that there's a solid wall there, while also, allowing us to see where the windows and doors are. So they quite obviously stand out from the walls here. The other thing I like to do is if I've got like a kitchen bench or something, I like to just make it white, just to kind of show that there is a feature there. It's not just, a hole in a hole in our design or whatever. So you don't need to do that with the doors, but it is useful to do with things like stairs, kitchen benches, cupboards, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, if it's a kitchen, there would probably be cupboards here as well. But as I said, just an example. Okay, so we've got, what looks like looks pretty good. So it's time to put in the measurements. So this is where we need quite a few measurements. And to use the measurements tool, we go up to tools, dimensions, and we kind of click as if we're using the tape measure. So we click on one point that we want to measure from, the other point, as we can see there. So we want to measure on the inside wall because that's the most relevant. So we got 5, 2, and this should match up with the drawings we've done as well. So if you lose a little bit of space because you've added walls, that's all right. Don't stress. So as we can see, we've got our floor plan that indicates where our windows are, where our doors are, what each area of the house, the property is. Got symbols for the doors, symbols for the windows, and measurements for all the kind of parts of the house. So if you were giving it to a builder, they would be able to build the property based on what you've given them. Okay, and for this I've used 90 mils for the external walls and internal walls, and we've said that the doorway is 870 millimeters or 87 centimeters. So that is how you create floor plans on SketchUp.